We are observing Purushotam VRATA. We are hearing about the glories of Purushotam month from the article of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Yesterday we heard how one has to finish the VRATA and that those who are lowest of mankind, although they achieved birth in India, but they are attached to household life, so they don't hear the glories of Purushottam VRATA, nor do they observe it. So they will have to undergo distress inflicted by separation from sons, friends, wife, and other relatives. Then about this mantra, that Kaundilya Muni was chanting this mantra, one should devote Purushottam month to constantly meditating upon Navaghana Dvibhuja Muralidhara Pitambara Shri Krishna. Means like new cloud color, two hands holding flute and having yellow colored cloth, Shri Krishna with Shri Radha. Those who do this with devotion will have all their cherished desires fulfilled. This we heard yesterday. Then there are three types of transcendentalists. Svanishta, those who are steadfast in their personal vows. Parinishtita, those who are steadfast in following the vows set forth by their respective acharyas. And Nirapeksha, those who are indifferent to the above two types of steadfastness. All the activities mentioned above for Purushottam month are prescribed for Svanishta transcendentalists. Means from this Naradiya Puran, it is those who are following Varna Ashram Dharma faithfully. For them, this is written. So they will follow Shastra, what is written in this Purana, and they will apply that in their life as Valmiki Muni instructed that king, as we will read in that further article from this Purana. So they are following their personal vows according to what they hear from Shastra. Then Parinishtita Bhaktas are eligible to observe Purushottam VRATA according to the rules and instructions of Kartik VRATA prescribed by their respective acharyas. Means there are four bona fide sampradayas, Guru Paramparas, and there are four acharyas who started. So their mantra will descend. You have to accept mantra from that bona fide preceptorial channel. Then you will serve Supreme Lord as per the instruction of your Guru. That is sadhana bhakti. When you will find in Shastra, first limb of sadhana bhakti is Guru Padashraya. You have to take shelter of Guru. Then second is you have to take mantra initiation from him. And then Shiksha means you have to take instructions and you have to serve Guru, what is required, and also following his instruction. That is best service. So in this way, one will start sadhana bhakti after initiation. Then Nirapeksha, so Kartik, like Kartik VRATA, means some special schedule of service as per Gurudev's instruction and as per this diet restrictions, like no beans, no chickpea, no mustard oil or seeds, no sesame, no eggplant, no lowkey, no urat dal, no honey. These restrictions are same as for Kartik, and some regulation. Our Gurudev gave this to daily recite these two ashtakas, then to daily chant this mantra, then to daily hear these prayers of Brahma. So this is the schedule. So following this means following your respective acharya and also offering lamp to Supreme Lord on the altar. That is Parinishtita. Nirapeksha Bhaktas respect this sacred month by daily honoring Sri Bhagavat Prasad with one pointed attention. How? Because this is Krishna's mercy. So they are thinking like this. Those who are in Raga Marg, realized souls, they have this one pointed attention when taking prasad. I saw in Gurudev, because they actually perceive this is Krishna's mercy. So how you can be inattentive and thinking this is rice, this is dal, I don't like this, I like this. No, they are not seeing like that. They are actually honoring Bhagavat Prasad with one pointed attention, following some routine for Shravan and Kirtan of Sri Harinam according to their capacity. Following statement from Vishnu Rahasya, which is the topmost instruction of Sri Hari Bhakti Vilas, recommends Indriyarteshu asaktanam sadaiva vimalamatih paritoshayate Vishnum nopavaso jitatmana. Those whose intelligence has been purified by bhakti are detached from the inclination for sense enjoyment, because they got higher taste, so they have no desire for sense enjoyment. The intelligence of such persons is naturally pure. That means their intelligence is, my desire is to satisfy Krishna. So I have to do those activities which will satisfy Krishna. Therefore, they are jitatma, means they have conquered their minds or bodies, everything, or self, everything, means jitatma. One who conquered himself, means they, by engaging everything in the service of Krishna, they became controller by Krishna's grace of all their senses. They are not slaves of their senses or mind, but are in control of them by Krishna's mercy, and they are always engaging them in the service of Krishna. It is by their innate bhakti, rather than by upavas, means fasting and other such activities, that they have purified their minds and are thus able to please Shri Krishna at all times. So all these rules and regulations for Swanishtas, there is fasting and this and all this, that will help you. But those who already purified by devotion, for them such rules and regulations are not necessary, because they already conquered their body and mind, and they are always engaged in the service of Krishna. That is the purpose of all Shastras. So, yes. Here Maharaj is explaining, Bharati Maharaj, in all circumstances, they will please Shri Krishna by their spontaneous devotion. Fasting and other activities cannot become the cause of cleansing their heart, because already they have clean heart, purified by devotion. The Nishta, means faith, of these Ekantika Bhaktas is Shravan, Kirtan, Smaran, hearing about Krishna, speaking about him, remembering him, and hence fasting and other general rules are not obligatory for them. They are meant for those who did not yet conquer. So according to different stages, like child, he needs, when learning to drive bicycle, he needs that support of 2 extra wheels. But once he learns that, then there is no need of support of those 2 wheels. He will already be able to maintain balance. Like that, different rules and regulations practices are for different stages. So they already are spontaneously attached to Krishna. So for them, those things like what Valmiki explained, that is not obligatory for them. They may follow for the sake of being example for others, but it is not obligatory for them, because they already achieved the purpose of all those things. Therefore, Srila Sanatana Goswami has concluded his book Sri Hari Bhakti Vilas by presenting the following statements for one-pointed devotees. Evam ekantinam prayah kirtanam smaranam prabho kurvatam param pritya krityam anya narochate bhavena kenachit preshtah shrimurterangri sevane syat ichyai sham svatantrena svarasanaiva tadvidi vihiteshu eva nityeshu pravartante swayam hite ityadi ekantinam bhati mahatmyam likitam hitat. Ekantika bhaktas, or one-pointed devotees of Sri Krishna, consider Sri Krishna Smaran and Sri Krishna Kirtan, remembering Krishna and speaking about him, alone to be the most fulfilling and valued activities. Generally, they do not engage in any other angas or limbs of bhakti besides these 2, which they cultivate with great love and affection. Their eagerness for these limbs is so strong that no other activity can captivate their taste. They develop an intense desire to serve the lotus feet of Sri Krishna in a specific mood. Therefore, they render service to the lotus feet of Sri Krishna with moods which are favorable to their own rasa or relationship, along with some independence, means to give up the injunctions which are unfavorable to their cultivation. This alone is their vidhi, or rule. Rule is they will satisfy Krishna according to their relation, specific relation with him. Not any other thing, but this natural relationship, the rule of their love. The Ekantika Bhaktas are not bound to follow all the rules and regulations which have been prescribed by the rishis in Shastra. The moods of the Ekantika Bhaktas' inborn natural disposition generally remains prominent. This is their glory. You remember during Kartik Vrata, we remember this verse as translated by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Ekanta bhakter matra kirtan smaran anya parve ruchi nahi hoy pravartan. Bhaver sohit kriya mudra ragodito. Tatapi says sop nahi vidhi viporito. Then further it goes that those who are one-pointed devotees, they have no any anarthas, they have got liking only for these 2, to chant about Krishna and to remember him. They have no taste for any other limb of devotion. And bhaver sohit, to get with love, with deep love, they are bhaver sohit, Shri Krishna Sivan, they are serving Krishna in a rag, in deep attachment to him. And but their devotion is not against purpose of devotion. Like you may not see they are following certain rules and regulations from Shastra which are prescribed for Vaidhi Bhaktas, but you should not think that they are transgressing something. No, they are satisfying Krishna. That is the point. So their devotion, that is not against the purpose of devotion. So Raga Bhaktas, they are beyond. And there is one important point. I forgot the Bangla. Sarva Tyaga Korileo Chara Sukotin Pratistasha Tyaga Jatna Paive Pravin. This is a very important verse. Sarva Tyag Korileo Chara Sukotin. Maybe, although you could renounce everything, like desire for sexual enjoyment, desire for money, and all these things. Sarva Tyag Korileo, although Chara Sukotin Pratistasha Tyaga Jatna Paive Pravin. It is very difficult, although you could give up all other things, but it is very difficult to give up Pratistasha, desire for getting respect. Very difficult. Sukotin, very hard. Kotin means hard, heavy, difficult. And here was Sukotin, very difficult. Our Parangurudev also told it's very problematic, this anartha, desire to get respect, because this is directly connected to our false ego. As long as false ego is there, you will have this desire, so it is very difficult. But it is not impossible. I heard from Gurudev, I have no practical experience of that, but I heard from Gurudev that it is possible by sincere sadhana under the guidance of Guru. It is possible to give up this also gradually, and without giving up this means without following amanina manadena, not desiring any respect for yourself and offering due respect to all others. Gurudev told it is impossible to advance then in devotion. And this is still in Vaidhi Bhakti. Once you give up all anarthas, then you can enter into that raga. So this desire is very difficult. But you have to be very careful about that. Should not give indulgence, and you have to practice this and always keep association of advanced devotees. Then that will give you inspiration and help, because most of the time we are not even noticing this desire. But in association of great devotees, they will enlighten that. By their light, we can see, detect that, and also detect that it is not good. It is obstacle to devotion. So we are hearing this during Kartik. This is same verse. This is from Hari Bhakti Vilas, is Sanskrit, and there Bhaktivinoda Thakur's explanation in Bangla. So they are Ekanta Bhaktas. So three levels, Swanishta, Parinishtita, and Nirapeksha. Our Gurudev told we are following all three. Something from Swanishta, that mantra, Govardhana Dharam Bande, that is from Shastra, that Purana. Then following Parinishtita, as per scriptural injunctions for Kartik VRATA, certain diet restrictions and certain schedule routine. And Gurudev also told we belong to this Ekantika group because that is our goal. Our goal is to have one-pointed devotion to Krishna and do only Shravan Kirtan and take Bhagavat Prasad. That is the main point. But generally, Ekantikas here, according to this description, it refers to Raganuga. devotees. So our Gurudev told, now you are not, at least for me, he said, now you are not eligible for that sadhana, because there is no attachment to Krishna, no strong desire to serve him, and so many anarthas. So now you have to do sadhana in a regulated manner, Shravan Kirtan, as per instruction of Guru. Then, when by this practice you can purify your heart of all anarthas, then that will also come automatically by Guru. Guru will give that at that time. The Bhaktas observe Shri Purushotam month according to their respective adhikar, means qualification. This means according to the distinctions of the moods of Svanishta, Parinishtita and Ekantika Bhaktas. Bhagavan Brajanath Shri Krishna is the sovereign of this month. Therefore, Adimas, this extra month, is there to every Bhakta. This is because, incidentally, in this month, no disturbance from the Karma Kanda can come to obstruct the performance of one's bhakti. Why? Because they are not doing any activities in this month, so there is no disturbance. Only devotion is going on in this world. Of course, those who are outside of Vedic, they will do sins, everything they will do. But those who are following Vedic, there are two adhikaras, as we heard, smarta and paramarta. So those who are smartas, they will not do anything in this month. So devotees, they are free to serve Krishna all the time without any obstruction. So you have to keep in mind that when from tomorrow I will read from that Naradiya Puran, this more details about this history of Purushottam and also past life of Draupadi, as we heard, and also what Valmiki Muni explained to that Drida Dhanva king. You have to keep in mind that this is meant for Svanishta Bhaktas. So maybe not everything is applicable for us to follow, but the purpose is to be followed, to engage in the service of Krishna during this month. What we have to practically follow, Gurudev already told these things which we are doing, but we will hear the glories of Purushottam month. It is similar to like you know that Ekadashi Mahatmya, glories of Ekadashis. There are some pastimes which will inspire you to follow Ekadashi, and to show if you don't follow that is not good. Here also during Purushottam, that it is good to follow, and if you don't follow, what will happen, and like this. So to inspire us, so we will hear with this purpose, to hear the glories of Purushottam month and to be inspired to worship Krishna during this month, and not to be disinterested to follow this month, but how we are applying what we are doing is as per Gurudev's instruction. So you have to keep that in mind. Like our Gurudev never told, we have to sleep on bare ground. But it is said by Valmiki to that king, and some other things more. They have to follow for those rules and regulations to come to the point of next level, that to take shelter of pure devotee, and then under the guidance of pure devotee Acharya, you will serve Krishna as in sadhana bhakti. Then after we will follow that process of sadhana bhakti and purify our heart, then we can come to this ekantika, one point devotion, where we will constantly chant Krishna's name and his lila will automatically appear in our heart, that remembrance will come. So for them, they are not following those rules of Shastra. They are already attached to Krishna. The purpose of all those rules, either for Svanishta or Parinishtita, is to get attachment to Krishna, to serve him constantly. So they already achieved. So for them, this is not necessary anymore. For us also to strictly follow what Valmiki Muni said is also not necessary, because we are following what Acharya said. And our goal is to attain one-pointed devotion to Krishna. So tomorrow we'll hear that. And we are also hearing Srimad Bhagavatam Brahmastava. Like for those who are Aganuga Bhaktas, for them this topic is not necessary. Here Brahma is speaking the glories of Krishna, his sweet form, and also about the process that only by devotion, as we will see, one can get. And like for Aga Bhaktas, this topic is not necessary. They already have their intimate, sweet, delightful relation with Krishna. Krishna is my son, Krishna is my friend, like this. They don't see Krishna as God. So for them, these prayers are not necessary. Krishna is unlimited, everything happening by his will. They don't have this necessity. Their necessity is only, he is my son, I have to do this and this for him. I have to bath him, I have to dress him, I have to cook for him. According to someone's relationship, he will only think how to satisfy Krishna. For Raganugas. They don't hear these topics. They may hear only to be example for others who are not on that level, but that is not their personal practice. Their personal practice is only to constantly meditate on that Leela of Radha Krishna according to 8 divisions of the day, Ashtakaliya Leela, and what is their service to Radha Krishna. That they are always doing. Chanting externally, internally they are always serving in that. So yesterday we were hearing this verse, which is very famous, I told yesterday, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Raya Ramananda about the goal of life and the process to attain it. First, Raya Ramananda said karma, means varnashram dharma you follow. Then karma arpan, you offer this karma, these all activities you offer to Krishna. Don't have any desire to enjoy the fruit, that is superior. Then karma tyag, you give up all karma, because karma is coming out of false ego. So give up false ego and give up all karma, that is gyan. They may do those activities, but not with false ego, only for maintenance. Then further he said, Jnana Mishra Bhakti. Jnana together with devotion, but that devotion is not pure devotion, it is mixed with Jnana, with impersonal knowledge, and they are worshipping to get liberation, not to satisfy Krishna. Then this verse comes, Jnana Prayasa Mudapasya Namanteva. You have to throw away, far away, all Jnana process and all desire to merge yourself in impersonal Brahman, liberation, all these things. You have to give up and only surrender to Krishna by hearing about him from the lotus lips of pure devotee, Sanmukaritam. And you follow that process, and wherever you are situated, according to Varna Ashram, that doesn't matter. As per what is easy for you for maintenance, that you do. And also no need to go here and there, visiting holy places, Himalaya, this, no need to gather pious activities. No, only you go where Harikatha is going on. That is the best holy place. And that is the best Ganga, that stream of Harikatha from the lotus mouth of pure devotee. Narad asked Narayan, Supreme Lord, where are you staying? Then Narayan said, Naham basami Vaikuntha, yoginam hridayena cha, mad bhakta jatra gayanti, tatra tishtami Narada. Oh Narada, I am not staying in Vaikuntha. I am also not staying in the heart of yogis, because they don't want me. They want liberation or mystic powers. Where my devotees sing about me, there I stay, Narad. So Harikatha is not different from Krishna. That is why, as we heard here, Vishnu Chakra Thakur told, they will offer their obeisance by body, mind and speech and service to Harikatha, because Harikatha is not different from Krishna. Here we heard in commentary, so in this way, they will conquer who is otherwise unconquerable, Supreme Lord, but by this pure devotion, they can conquer him. So this stage is called Jnana Shunya Bhakti. No trace of impersonalism. And then there are further stages, then Raga will come, and then different relationships. So here, Vishnu Thakur started his commentary. The Shvetashvatara Upanishad states, Tam eva viditva. Freedom is possible only by understanding Brahman. If that is the case, then how can an ignorant person attain liberation? Means one who has no understanding of Brahman, he is not Jnani. How he can attain liberation? This verse answers the question. Your devotees give up, Brahma said, your devotees give up all endeavors for knowledge. They simply spend their time hearing your glories spoken by you, that is like from Bhagavad Gita, and your pure devotees, that is like Srimad Bhagavatam. Staying in their social positions, they do not travel around to holy tirthas. Without doing anything else, devotees pass their lives hearing topics about your name, qualities, and pastimes, and they offer all respects to these narrations with their bodies, minds, and words. They use their intelligence to grasp the meaning of the subject's heart. In this way, the pure devotees conquer you, although you are otherwise unconquerable by anyone within the three worlds. This we heard yesterday. Then further Vishnu Chakra Thakur said, you are not conquered by those who attain liberation through jnana. Indeed, to attain liberation from the cycle of repeated birth and death, merely by hearing about you is astonishing. By knowledge of Brahman, which is but one aspect of the absolute truth, Jnanis cross the ocean of birth and death. That is the meaning of the Shruti statement, freedom is possible only by understanding Brahman. So they may attain, by Jnana, they may attain liberation, freedom, but they cannot conquer Supreme Lord by that, because there is no pure devotion there. But pure devotees, they will hear and chant about him, and they will conquer Supreme Lord. Automatically liberation is also there as a side effect. So it is not that only Jnanis will get liberation, no. Devotees are actually liberated. They, Jnanis, when they will reach that platform of Brahman, if they will not accept service of Krishna, they will again fall down into this Maya. But pure devotees, they will take shelter of Krishna, and they will be permanently liberated from Maya, because they will be engaged in the service of Krishna in his Leela. Yes. For them, this is astonishing, how devotees, they can attain liberation without any jnana process. But it is there, because Krishna is transcendental person. His realm is transcendental. So those who can enter there through their service, they are automatically free from Maya. Yes. Then next verse. Shreyah sritim bhaktim udasyate vibho klishyanti ye kevala bodha labdaye tesham aso kleshala eva shishyate nanyat yatha stula tushava ghatinam. My dear Lord, devotional service unto you is the best path for self-realization. If someone gives up that path and engages in the cultivation of speculative knowledge, he will simply undergo a troublesome process and will not achieve his desired result. As a person who beats an empty husk of wheat cannot get grain, one who simply speculates cannot achieve self-realization. His only gain is trouble. Here, mental speculation means jnana, means by thinking power, by studying those scriptures about Brahman, you think you can realize Supreme Lord, you can come to the point of his impersonal aspect, but you cannot attain realization of actual absolute truth, Supreme Lord, whose effulgence is Brahman, and you cannot realize yourself who really you are ultimately as eternal servant of Krishna. That is self-realization. Someone thinking I am Brahman, I am spirit, I am not matter, he thinks this is real self, but it is not. It is only one aspect. Real self is we are eternal servants of Krishna, who is Bhagavan. So that is ultimate realization. So by that process of jnana, one cannot attain, and because he will not attain fulfillment of his heart, that gain is means that effort is only like beating empty husk. You want to get grain, so you're beating empty husk, there is no grain there inside. So only trouble you will get. That effort goes uselessly because you will not attain what you really want, fulfillment. That is only possible in service of Krishna. Here, commentary by ISKCON. Loving service to the Supreme Person is the natural and eternal function of every living entity. If a person renounces his own constitutional function, means he's not engaged in that, and instead laboriously seeks so-called enlightenment through impersonal speculative knowledge, his result is simply the trouble and bother that come from following an artificial process. A fool may beat an empty husk, not knowing that the grain has already been removed. Similarly, foolish is the person who throws his mind again and again into the pursuit of knowledge without surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for it is the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is the very substance and the goal of knowledge. just as grain is the substance and goal of the entire agricultural effort. Vedic knowledge, or indeed material science, without the personality of Godhead is exactly like an empty and useless husk of wheat. One may argue that by practicing yoga, that is other than bhakti yoga, or cultivating impersonal knowledge, one can acquire prestige, wealth, mystic powers, or even impersonal liberation. But these so-called gains are actually useless because they do not situate the living being in his constitutional position of loving service to the Supreme Lord. Therefore, such results, being superfluous to the living being's essential nature, are impermanent. You will again fall down and you will not get that fulfillment which you are seeking. As stated in the Nrishinga Puran, Patreshu Pushpeshu Paleshu Toyeshu Akrita Labhyeshu Vadaiva Satsu Bhaktya Sulabhya Purushe Purane Muktyai Kim Artam Kriyate Prayatna. Meaning, since the primeval personality of Godhead is easily attained by offering him such things as leaves, flowers, fruits, and water, which are all found without difficulty, why does one need to endeavor for liberation separately? Although the process of devotional service to Lord Krishna is very simple, it is extremely difficult for stubborn, conditioned souls to completely humble themselves before the Supreme Personality of Godhead and absorb themselves 24 hours a day in his loving service. Yes, this is difficult because this false ego is there. So we have to practice in a regulated manner, like fixed number of chanting, fix this all. Then gradually more and more purified, we can come. Then we will come to this platform, Amanina Manadena. Not desiring any respect, because that is the last anartha. Desire respect and offering due respect because seeing them in relation to Krishna. Then Kirtanya Sadahuri is possible, to always serve Krishna, 24 hours. Those who have realized their eternal relation with Krishna and thereby giving up all other desires, they can only engage 24 hours. Means they conquer this false ego. The mood of loving service is anathema. I don't know what is this word. To belligerent. Also don't know belligerent. Tomorrow I can see. The mood of loving service is anathema to belligerent, conditioned souls determined to defy God and enjoy. When such stubborn, conditioned souls attempt to bypass surrendering to God through proud attempts at philosophical speculation, austerity, and yoga, they are turned back to the material platform by the powerful laws of God and violently merged into the heaving ocean of insignificance called the material world. Brahma told in 2nd chapter of 10th canto, there are some who think they became liberated by their own hard austerity. They think by my own effort I got freedom from all world, the egos, everything, but they are not adoring the lotus feet of Supreme Lord. And they are not admitting that actually whatever kind of fruit one has was actually given by Krishna. You cannot get anything independently. He's giving, so they are not admitting this. It is offense. So because of that offense, they will, Brahma said, they will again fall down into material world after some time, just to get this lesson, that there is some superior power there, which is superior to them. Otherwise they could remain, but they cannot. They will fall down. And they will fall down even in more abominable condition than they were before. It is stated there. So this is what is stated here. If someone is proud, anyway proud, with worldly egos, or proud, I am one with Paramatma, I am one with Brahman, I am liberated, I am perfected, I am all this, any kind of this pride, which does not allow you to surrender to Krishna and fully engage in his service, that will be the cause of your fall down. Any kind of pride. Even devotees, they may have this pride. I am a devotee. I am superior to all others. I am a long time devotee. Even this kind of pride, false pride, will be obstacle to your devotion, because that is some other desire. You should only engage in the service of Krishna. Why you are desiring these things? Those are obstacles, but it is very difficult. Bhaktivinoda Thakur told, still we should not lose hope. We have to go on under the guidance of Gurudev and be patient. Then we can conquer gradually also this. Tomorrow we will hear further.